Hello?
Hey girl.
You guys will not believe this.
No, I don't want to touch on
Told you guys I fall in love fast.
The look on your face, and you're like, ooh,
very healthy to have female friendships.
and
Yeah, I do want
completely
to get married
ghost
again.
me
And I
on
love
this
that
effing
So finding that
island.
balance
Still
of I can
desires to
have
get
this
married.
sandwich
Super
to like get rid of
having
toxic
wasn't
people
ever
and
really
places.
into tea.
Welcome back.
to three-way call.
With Britt Fallon Star. Hi, ladies.
Hello,
How are
hello.
we doing tonight?
So
We're
good.
hanging in
It's
Hanging in
just
there? I know.
I'm like, whoa, cloud nine, Brit's hanging in there.
It is the end of the night. Normally we record in the morning, so it is a little bit of a change, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
She
Mhm.
said at 8:45.
Well, we're all grandmas, so we're
Oh,
usually in
Yeah.
bed by now. So
I should have made some tea for this tea
I
conversation.
know we should all have some tea to sip on. That sounds good, actually. I love a cup of hot tea.
Me too. What's your favorite?
I was just gonna ask you. I like anything, well, especially before bedtime. I like anything with lavender,
Mm.
chamomile.
love it.
So
Mm,
good.
that sounds relaxing.
Yeah, what about you?
I find that I go through seasons. So right now I'm liking this cinnamon apple spice, probably because
Mm,
fall's around the corner. Earlier this summer I was doing like a turmeric. I know it's weird in Arizona to have hot tea at night, but again, I'm a grandma.
so good.
Hot
And I
tea.
love anything with mint too.
And then Hez will add ginger, yeah, I think cayenne and lemon and makes it a little spicy, and that's like my fave. Sweet and
Ooh.
spicy. Seals the deal.
Brett, what about you? What's your favorite hot tea?
Oh, I don't think I have a favorite. I drink a lot of tea. I drink a lot of tea. I have a ginger turmeric one that I like right now. I drink a lot of peppermint tea, lavender, chamomile,
Mm,
hibiscus. I
yeah,
like
Oh yeah.
tea.
raspberry leaf. I love some raspberry leaf as well.
Yes, I have
Ooh.
like butterfly pea in there too. And
But
sometimes
how?
dandelion root.
Mm,
Dandelion root.
mhm.
But how do y'all make your tea? Do you do it the old, old-fashioned way with a little teapot thing? Or some people, like my girlfriend, has the loose leaves, or I buy the little packet and I'm very lazy and microwave it. Boom.
Yeah, it varies for me. I have loose leaf. I have a ton of loose leaf. I have a little thing that I put it in and it has a little shark at the end. It's so cute. And then I have a really cute crystal, not crystal. What is that other one that's clear? That glass?
Oh, I was like, what?
Glass. Okay.
And I like that because you could just put the loose leaf in there, have like little flower, uh, well, it opens up like a flower, but it's a tea ball.
Oh yeah, I've
I
seen
have that.
that. How did I?
That's actually probably top five favorite teas is the flower one that I have. It's like
Ooh.
jasmine and something else.
Ooh, I do
So
love that.
cool. I love.
Um, but yeah, otherwise it's just a quick hot water either in the microwave or on the stove, depending on how lazy I am. And then a tea bag I do, but sometimes I'm picky about those too because they're
Hmm.
bleached sometimes. So
Mm,
What? How will we know? Oh
usually
my
if they're white, or it might say the material on it
mhm.
that is used, but if they're white, typically they're probably bleached.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have tea bags
Okay.
I buy off Amazon that are not bleach.
Hmm.
I do have loose leaf tea. And I do have a whole kettle pot from Teavana that I've had for years and years, but I get too lazy with
Cute.
that, so I have a electric water heater that I
Oh,
use.
I like those.
Yeah, I love
Electric
those.
water.
That's just super easy.
Yeah. Okay. Add it to the list.
Add it to the list, girl. That's also from Amazon. I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
But tonight, since we're all active on social media, we love social media, so is the rest of the world. I feel like everybody has a love-hate relationship with social media, so I thought it would just be fun to kind of talk about some pros and cons and see, what we all feel.
Hell yes.
Yeah. So what are some pros that you guys think? Like some big pros for using social media?
I Actually, my big pros are connection. Like I've made some really amazing connections with some women on social media. I met one of my best friends through social media. I have women on there that I've never met that we can have conversations with, like we are friends. And I think that's really cool. I think,
Mm.
especially when you show up authentically and you can like welcome and like women who are aligned in that space with you, I think it's really, really nice. So I do actually really like it for that.
Heck yeah. I like that word too. Because your first thought instinct was connection and mine is community, which is very similar. Like
Mhm.
getting to know people from all over the world. And I'm talking some of my closest like online friends are in the UK and I've never met them before. So it's pretty cool because it can bring people together in that way and you can just relate and or learn from across the pond, as they say.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people use it like to connect with their family, if you're not living close by your family or if you have family across, well, there goes my light. If you have family across the country or whatever, like I feel like a lot of people like that. Well, I guess I'm not going to be on any clips on this one. Okay. Whatever.
We'll still
Oh
insert you
yeah, you're
in,
gonna be
girl.
in there.
Gosh. Yeah, because all my lights are on. Um, so yeah, definitely connection is a big one too. But I think also, getting into the business side, I mean, you guys have your businesses on there. Like, how amazing is it for your business? I know when I had my beauty business, 99.9% of my business was from people online.
Hmm.
And you're seeing people making hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars creating their businesses online. And I think that's amazing because it's all at your convenience. It's from your home or remote, wherever you can travel, you can still work. You're not, working in a cubicle, not a 9 to 5 job. I feel like doing that also gives you like a bigger sense of purpose, you know? You guys feel that?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that was a huge reason why I even started my business in the first place because I was already watching a couple of my like mentors or people that I looked up to in the bodybuilding space create like community and then have a business. And so I was like, how do I get into this? Because I want to do it, but it seems like online you can just help so many more people. And so I just think it's amazing. One of my favorite business coaches that I've learned from. Her name is Amy Porterfield, and she is all online. She just teaches people how to basically be course creators. And she lives in Tennessee. She makes six, I think, no, sorry, well into the seven, maybe even eight figures.
Wow.
And she's just a total rock star. She's so genuine. And I've never met this gal, but I literally am like, she's my mentor. I see her when I was, in her course, I was seeing her every week. And I think it's that kind of bond you can have with people that draws me to the online world. I do love it for that.
Absolutely. Gives you that inspiration too.
Yeah.
Fuels your fire, and it's cool to find people who are in the same industry as you and, it helps give you inspiration and,
Mhm.
let you know that things are possible, your dreams are possible because there's people out there that are achieving those things with, your same purpose.
Which I think, especially Brett, you let me know if you kind of feel the same way with fitness. I feel like up until about 2020, around right around the time I started coaching online, I think online coaches had more of a like, oh, you're just an online coach kind of thing. In person was still kind of like trumping the industry, at least in my opinion, until about then. And then all of a sudden, with the explosion of because of COVID, we're all stuck inside online fitness is blowing up. And now it's like most people I meet are online coaches. And if they were like an old school, what I call like an old school in person coach for 20, 30 years, they're now trying to figure out, well, how do I get into this online thing? And it's kind of interesting just to see like people be able to use both in that way. The changes of social media in business.
And did you do a lot of in person before that?
When I first started, I was trying to do mostly in person. Even though I saw the other girls doing it online, I was like, well, I think that's what kind of helped me get confident. So I started in person and then I was like, let me like make sure I know what I'm doing. And then I started realizing I just have so much more opportunity if I like take this thing online.
Yeah.
How about you?
Training?
Hmm. Did you
I
have?
I actually never really trained in person. Not really.
Hmm.
Just people I knew I did, but I never wanted to start that way.
Huh.
I just I think was it after COVID? I'm trying to remember even when I first started.
Hmm.
But as far as like my business now, though, I think I wouldn't be able to have one if it wasn't for social media because I like what I do is so like niche down
Hmm.
that like if I just tried to like find that locally, that makes my pool of people so much smaller,
Mm,
because it's very specific.
Hmm.
And so if I didn't have social media, I would not be connecting and creating that space for more women. You know what I mean? So I am, that's another great thing. But at the same time, it is also, I have for sure dealt with like imposter syndrome through social media, how to show up. But I think I've finally just been like, you know what? I'm just gonna show up as myself.
Yeah.
And
That-
that's how I'm using it. And it's much better.
Yeah. It does take away a lot of that like anxiety, I think. Just like, I'm just going to show up authentically me and that's it.
Yeah.
My tribe will find me kind of
Yes.
mhm,
thing.
Yeah. It's really hard to like be on social media for work and then be on social media
mhm,
because you are consumed with, well, this person that's in your same field is saying this, but you learned this and now this person's questioning that. And it's like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on what I know
Hmm.
and be my authentic self in that best possible way and kind of like shut out that noise because that could be really distracting for people.
mhm. Yeah,
And
I'm
I,
glad. Go ahead.
oh no, just to your point, Mama, I feel like that's why the majority of the people who come to us, they're so confused because they'll be like, well, this coach said this, and now this coach is saying that. Like, what is it? And I'll be honest, like the fitness, health, wellness industry, it is constantly evolving. So it is changing. And the more and better actual studies they can get testing more people, they're going to learn new and different things with technology as it is also evolving. So it's never, really this like hard iron thing.
Black
And
and
so,
white. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys brought that up too, because my next question for you is going to be, what are some cons you feel like? So do you guys feel like that's a big con in social media?
I think so. Yeah. I think what I find very interesting is that this public space you have access to still only hits this many people.
Mm-hmm.
So something incredibly vital to your health is still unknown to so many people that's why you still see, my feed typically is obviously going to be related to hormones and that wellness space right there. But you still see like in comments in other places the complete opposite, like, well, this is all I know about my health because they're missing this whole side of Instagram that has, I'm use Instagram in this case, but that has this other part of education. So it's a pro and a con because it is there, but it's still not, everyone still hasn't seen it. You know what I mean? Somehow. It still like baffles me a little bit.
Yeah, almost like you wouldn't like some of it. What do they say? If you know, you know. Like you wouldn't know about it unless you were researching like a specific person or topic in that way. Yeah. Whereas, I mean, and I'm going to challenge you a little bit, girl, because you had mentioned if it wasn't for social media, yes, you are niche down, but I feel like your business would also flourish in person, like using those connections with your doctor. I mean, if you want, I'm just thinking like, there's so many other avenues, girl, that you can use those amazing smarts that you have. Because I feel like I meet and talk to women all the time, even where we live in Arizona, who are, struggling with their hormones and wanting to learn more and even aging and going through all the hormonal changes there. So I feel like you would still have a flourishing business even without social media, girl.
Thanks, girl. You're I yeah, actually, I do want to open up it to more local anyway. Like, but by the end of this year, I want to have at least two women's circles in real life in
Perfect.
in Arizona. And
Yeah.
I think that that's going to be like it's just I'm just being pulled towards it anyway. So I think
Yeah. And I think one of the cons is, as Val was asking about with social media now in 2025, I'd have to say for my niche being like women's metabolism and fat loss, is that it is quite saturated. So now, my voice becomes more like this. Obviously, I'm going to speak to like my gal who really identifies with what I talk about around metabolism and food freedom and eating more, but it just feels so saturated. So I've been lately leaning more into in-person networking as well, just because I'm like, I really it gives me a different kind of life that I've learned in the last year, really, of being back home in Arizona and opening up more of my in-person stuff. That like connection, it's just in a different way. Like the social media connection is really special, but now that I'm back to in-person training, I'm just like, oh my God, I've missed this. It literally lights me up in a different way. And I think that's a con that's missing with social media. It's like
yeah,
the
it is
real,
it is a different energy connection, I feel. Like you get more face to face, that energy is more you're closer to it. And I think it is fun, yeah, to have that in-person vibe for sure.
it hits a little different. But I mean, there's other cons to socials outside of business stuff. I'd say, oh,
Mhm.
the trolls. Y'all
Yeah.
saw my one post about all the,
Oh,
you
yes.
making it when you getting trolls though.
Mhm.
Like,
Definitely.
wow. Wow. Because I've been dabbling into YouTube and my stuff over there gets way more traction than Instagram. And I'm like, the stuff people say to a stranger, it blows my mind. But if this were me 10 years ago, I'd be crying. Now I'm like, feed me the algorithm. Yes, more comments.
Oh, yes. More views. Yes, yes.
What would you say, Val? What are some of those cons?
For me, I feel like the biggest con would definitely be mental health impact. Like you were saying, the trolls. Obviously not everybody has that strength to be able to deal with it. I mean, I'm sure most people can't,
Hmm.
don't know how to deal with it. Um, so I just feel like, yeah, there's a lot of negativity, like we all have random people that are gonna be saying, rude things in either your comments or sliding into your DMs. There's so
Yeah.
much judgment in the world that I feel like that can really take a toll, on your mental health and just aside from people, coming at you with the negativity, just seeing negativity in general, you know what I mean? Seeing like these negative posts about, you know, even things that are like going on in the world. I don't watch the news for a reason. I know you guys don't watch the news. So it's
Yeah.
like going on social media and you're seeing like stuff like that we tend to avoid. And then we want to come on there and then we see all of that in our face. It's like that's, can still cause us some anxiety for sure, too.
Yeah, that one's a huge one for me. I'd say a lot of like the more like stress and anxiety from social media absolutely comes from seeing stuff that I don't want to see,
Mhm.
and I don't want to read. And I don't want to see the negativity, that's very impactful to people because again, social media is no matter whether it's, just texts or reels or whatever, it's still changing your brain.
Mhm.
More you look at it, the more it's changing your brain subconsciously, whether you like it or not. And I did take a break from social media for a week, and I did not want to come back. Like,
Mhm.
I did not want to come back. It was like, I did because, again, my business page, but it was so nice. Like, I didn't miss it. You know what I mean? And then when I came back, I was like, I want to take another break. And it was like, no, you can't. And I was like, fine, I'll just be here. But I mean, I could have done it in other ways, but
Oh
I
yeah.
I promised myself like I needed 1 week. I would get back onto the business stuff from it, but I should have taken a little longer, I think. And I
Mm,
think that I will take those breaks here and there, like at least quarterly.
hmm
Absolutely. I feel like that's essential almost. Like for me, I get in phases where I'm just like, I just don't even want to be on social media. I don't want to post anything. Like I get overstimulated very easily, and so it's okay to want to feel like you don't want to be on social media, and for you to take a break. And 9 times out of 10, you will feel better. Like Britt, you said you felt way better. I felt way better. Like you just feel refreshed. And yeah, you feel so good. Like you said, you don't even want to come back because you're like, I enjoy this feeling way more.
yeah. Yeah, and I think there's so much power in like us not getting our validation from social media, right? And so we're able to take those healthy breaks. And what I've learned in the last, I'd say even like the last year, again, something about me being home, but because I used to be, I would say I'm a slave to the algorithm because I got to do 8 posts a week and 10 stories a day, whatever those metrics are. But right now, I'm just kind of posting when I feel like it. And I'm
Hmm.
like, whoever's meant to find it will find it. And if I don't feel like logging on today, I'm not going to log on today.
Yeah.
If I only want one story, who cares? Like, if I have nothing to say, no story.
Yeah,
It's like,
literally.
I like the freedom. It's so rejuvenating.
It is. And I feel like for me personally, like I'm a very emotional person, I'm a Scorpio moon, so I'm extremely emotional and my emotions get tied into Instagram. So it's like if I'm in my feels, I feel like all I'm seeing is things that are making me more in my feels. And I'm like, okay, this is not helping. You know what I mean? And
Right.
then you get into like the comparison syndrome and you're like, well, this person's just so happy and they're married
Yes.
and have all these babies, and it's like I'm over here just like, so I feel like it can really affect, a lot of people's emotions, and not help you feel better in that sense. Because you're just looking, but somehow your phone knows. It's like if you were having
Uh,
a bad day, your phone is like, let me just continue this for you. You know what I
yes.
mean? But if you're having a good day, it's like, oh, all this positivity and optimism. You know what I mean?
I started setting like boundaries with my social media time too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, because especially like when you have to go in and do it on purpose, like lead gen and making your posts and all that, I would find myself doing that for way too long. And then
hmm
I'm like frustrated because I'm not even consuming social media at that point. I'm just on it. I'm like, what am I doing here? So yeah, now I have like I don't even open social media before I think my timer is set to like 8:30 a.m. So I'm up for at least a couple hours before I even open social media.
Yep.
And then it
Yep.
shuts off like 9:30 and I don't and and then I go to bed. So I don't have at least 30 minutes or more without being able to get onto social media. And then I have a break in the day too where I don't go on it as well.
Mhm.
Love. Yeah. I don't remember where I learned that from, but I put, and I love that Instagram actually is getting a little bit more helpful with trying to at least create some mental health around being on Instagram. Like they'll have, you can turn on your like time hours or whatever. And so for me, mine is from like 9 a.m. to like 8 p.m. And so it'll say you only have 30 minutes left before sleep mode, or maybe it might even be 7 p.m. It's really early. And I'm like, perfect. Thanks for the reminder. I will shut this thing down. So helpful. But also to your point, Val, with comparison, back in the day when I was finding myself doom scrolling way too much, it was mostly because I was comparing, well, I want to be there. Why don't I look like that? Or how come I'm not on stage when I was competing and like, how do I get there? And then I'm just like stalking these people. And it was just a lot of comparing and
And what also helped me too is I remember back in the day, like COVID times, and we had nothing else better to do than be on our phones. Um, yeah, I know, and in my business too, we'd always talk about social media, and they're like, like why are you following people that like don't make you feel good or that are
Mhm.
like constantly negative or like only follow accounts that make you feel good and that make you feel positive and that inspire you and things like that.
Yeah.
I remember during that time I was doing a lot of cleanup on my social media. I'm like, you know what, you're right.
Yes.
And then still to this day I'm like, if I think this person's negative, I'm gonna
Hmm.
unfollow them or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I don't need
Right.
to pay attention to that.
Or even if I find myself, still every once in a while wanting to be, which I don't think that there's any issue looking up to people. But if it's too much, like I want to actually be in your shoes, unfollow. I don't need to be
Yeah.
seeing what you're doing in your life every day. No, thank you. Let me focus on what I'm doing and
Hmm.
get myself there.
100%.
I love that for you ladies.
Yeah.
Create the healthy boundaries. It's necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. So, real quick, just side note, how do you guys feel about filters? Because I remember for a while now, filters were like all the rage on stories, on posts, like, and when Snapchat came really big, like everybody wanted like the hearts around their head and like the big lips and like all these things, like, and I've noticed like now people rarely ever use filters. And
Mhm.
I'm
Because
not talking like presets to make your pictures look better. I'm talking about like straight filters, like on your face, or like what's that app that people use, Facetune? Like I know a lot of people do use
Oh
Facetune, like
yeah.
smooths out your face and maybe like enhances your makeup or whatever. What do you guys feel about those things?
one, are you sure they're not? Because they're getting really good. The film really
It's
good.
suspect. It's like, oh, it wouldn't. No, no, no.
Because I see a lot of filters still, like in reels, in stories, I see a lot of them still using that, especially like influencers and stuff. Even when they're doing like their makeup tutorials, I'm like, why are you wearing a filter?
Really? Oh my
Huh.
gosh. I feel like so many of mine that I follow don't do that anymore. And they often talk about how they don't do it anymore because they just felt like it was just like too fake. Like if I'm telling you I love this makeup while my lips are like moving with, like lipstick already on them, but I'm like, I love this color. Like they just felt like, ew, no.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad that you do see those ones. But I still definitely see a lot of filter going on. I personally don't use filters because I don't like this is what I look like.
Mm-hmm.
I that's why like it's just important to me. I don't really know where it came from. It happened a long, long time ago. Like I think when I was still a teenager that I've never like really worn a lot of makeup on my face. Like eyelashes are my jam, but like if I don't want to, like I'm not going to and I'm not going to worry about it because this is my face. This is what and I want, again, to show up really authentically to my people. So I'm going to show them that, yeah, some days my face is a little redder than others, or some days, like, this is what I look like. It just, I feel more authentic that way. But I do love a Snapchat filter to my friends. Like, I will have that weird face and I will look like a man and I will send it to you all day. Baby face filter? Yes. Rattle?
Love
Yes.
those. That used to be the key to me entertaining my baby nephew when he was like 3. Just Snapchat filters all day. But no, I feel like I'm 50-50 in between you ladies because I feel like some of my gals that I follow, they're like, oh my gosh, back when I was, doing all the filters and then the Paris, they're like making fun of it, how it would just like gloss everything over. And then yeah, I do feel like I still see some people using them. And then there's one, I don't know if I use Paris so much, but that was like the main one that I used to use back in the day. And then now I'm like, I remember I used to get, and I already have pretty clear skin, but when I was using it all the time back in 2020, people would all the time be like, your face is so clear. I'd be like, girl, I'm just using the Paris, like the swipe thingy.
Yeah.
Your face is so smooth. Thanks.
Yeah, I used to love like a filter on my story and stuff, like if it made me look like tan or whatever,
Mm.
or like made this was before I got lip filler, made my like lips a little more plump. I'm like,
Yeah, there was one that I loved. It did make my before the filler. I
yeah,
remember that one.
yeah, I loved that one.
And then they got rid of my favorite. I think it was your favorite too.
Yeah, I feel like Star and I always use the same filter. So anytime we were together and we would like take a picture or whatever, we'd be like, oh yeah, I love that filter. That's my favorite too, you know? So we
Yes.
always had the same filters. And then I remember that one day whenever they like took all of them away, and I remember like Star and I were texting each other, like, where's our filter? Like, do you have this problem?
I
No, I don't have it. Where to go? What's that? And then we're like, oh no, that's our favorite. And
And that
yeah,
was the only one I really liked. So maybe
yeah,
that's why I don't use it anymore.
yes, I really liked that one too. Dang it.
I guess that's true. I do like a dark filter because I do text on my thing, but I won't use a filter that changes my face, not even like
Mm,
skin texture,
just the
which
overlay, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I have three. Two of them do change your face, and so I don't use them unless it's not my face.
right.
Gotcha.
Like the color.
Yeah, I love that dark kind
Yeah, I
of
love
on
the
your
darkest.
stories. That's a cool
Yeah.
one.
So the one that's like the darkest, it just yeah, it just makes everything dark. So, but honestly, it almost like enhances any imperfection. So I'm like, well, it's fine, but I just like the dark ones. So because I put text on my stuff and you could see it a little bit better. But um yeah, if it changes my face, I feel some type of way. I feel like I'm lying and I don't like lying. So it's like a
I
it's
just wanted bigger lips, okay? Oh, and a pointier nose. I think I made my nose a little. I've always been on the fence about a nose job.
Oh my gosh.
oh, your
So
nose is
thanks.
so cute.
It's fine.
Okay, and then so I have one more crazy question for you guys. So, well, actually, two more questions because there's one that I want to end with, but this one, I'll ask first. How do we feel if you're posting all the time and like your besties aren't commenting and liking your things? Like, is that shady? Are you taking it personal? Are you just like they're busy or like how do you guys feel about that? The reason why I bring this up is because I don't know if you guys saw the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives episode where Taylor was like, I think she got invited, Taylor, the main one, she got invited to like the Grammys or the Emmys or something. I want to say maybe it was the Grammys. So obviously it was a really
Damn.
big deal for her, right?
Yeah.
So I remember she's like posting and walking the red carpet and like posting on her Instagram about her being at the Grammys. And so they're showing this in the show, and not a single one of those Mormon wives liked or commented her photo. And there's like 10 of them. So
Jeez.
so the next day she doesn't hear from any of them, and then so she literally puts them all on blast about how they're unsupportive, they're ungrateful, like all these things. She's always supporting all of their, big goals that they're in, but like why wouldn't they? And I guess she has a crazy fan base. Like I guess her fans are like vultures. Like
Oh my.
if you do anything negative to her, like they're coming for you. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
no. Taylor wannabes.
yeah, so then all the girls get pissed at her because they're like, you sent all your vultures to us, and now they're like so mean to us, like and then I guess she sat down with them all. And long story short, I guess they all were busy doing something. So apparently none of them, and they even brought up the reunion, like they all said none of them were on social media that day. And she's like, all 10 of you were not on social media that day. So she's like, I feel like you guys planned that. Like you guys were like, we're not gonna comment on my thing. Yeah, it was like this huge thing.
And knowing
Wow.
that they did plan it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like if you have a close circle of friends and they don't need to, if they're not commenting on anything, that's a little suspect. But as long as like you feel like when they're online, if they see it, because a lot of times, like, because we're not all scrolling all day, all the time, as we were just talking about with those boundaries and things. But I would find it a little suspicious if I call you a close friend, because I'm probably going to pop up quite a bit on your like natural feed. And then let's say a month or two goes by and I don't hear anything. That's kind of weird. But I don't think I also would notice at the same time. So I'm
You
like,
don't notice when we're giving you
no,
all these
I mean
moments.
like if like you went dark, like you know what I mean? Because you guys are so active and you're so supportive. Maybe I would then. I don't know. Because I've never been in this situation. So I'm just trying to think like what I know. But you guys are not that. So I don't know what that feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Like if it is never happening, I would feel a little suspicious because my first thought is, why are you following me then?
Hmm.
Like if you're not here to support me in some sort of way, what's the purpose of you following me? And actually, I had seen more and more frequently some business coaches just like on social media saying like, this is your business. Your friends and family don't need to be following you. They're not going to buy your program, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So actually, when I made this account, if they followed me, I actually didn't follow a lot of them back. And I
Because you
don't,
have your personal to
yeah,
be
I have my
clear.
personal, obviously. Yeah, they could talk to me there. Um, and even if they stayed or if I didn't remove them or whatever, and they weren't supporting me, I'm like, again, I'm like, well, you're not looking at my story, you're not liking or commenting on any of my stuff, and it's fine. Like you don't have to like what I post, but I also didn't just don't need you on this page because
Mhm.
I wanted to be very specific. Um, and then yes, if I'm supporting you all the time, and then eventually I realize, because I probably won't realize it too, like right away, like that you're not supporting me. But if eventually I realize that you're not supporting me in return, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's enough because that is my energy that I'm giving you.
Yes.
And I am at a place where like I'm not doing anything that's not reciprocated.
That's probably where I would notice it too, if I'm equally feeding into you and then I don't feel it, because that's how I am in real life about friendships anyways. I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to be the one like always kind of trying to make it happen, you know?
Yeah.
How about you, Fallon?
Exactly what Britt said. That's exactly what I was gonna say. So, 100%. If I feel like I'm giving my energy to you and it's not reciprocated, then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll get a little salty about it.
But here's the thing then. Why are we, like, let's say we're me and you, we weren't doing it online, then like, why are we even friends in real life? That's so
Exactly.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they call frenemies these days, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I think what eats me more than that would be like if one of my friends closer even maybe like a little less close came to me for advice or said something like, well, I learned from this person, I'm gonna do this. Goodbye. Don't come to me then. Don't freaking come to me then if you're gonna listen to someone else. Because
Ah.
that to me is more unsupportive than you like if you can come to me to ask the question, but then you're still not going to listen to me
Mhm.
That gets
about,
old.
yeah, it's like, okay, if you want to listen to that expert, go listen to that expert and I'll continue to do what I do. But don't come back to me in 6 months when you still haven't figured it out. And maybe
On
it's a little harsh, but a little bit harsh.
On that note, because I know we're wrapping up here before Fal's last question, but because I was actually thinking about this a couple weeks ago when I had a girlfriend ask me some questions. Well, multiple people are always asking me questions, but then, it's not that I always ever really expect people to, my friends especially, to buy from me because I want them to use my knowledge and like learn from me. But if I'm like, hey, there might be something in the future, or maybe I even can refer you out to someone who does exactly what you're looking for. Like, how do you guys feel about people who need help in our close-ish, like family friends dynamic, but aren't willing to invest? They're just like kind of always probing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, always looking for the answer, but they don't want to invest. Because I'm all for, again, I want to help the close people in my life, but at the end of the day, I cannot give you that level of one-on-one attention that people are actually investing in.
Yeah.
So, I f
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm way too much of a giver in like my DMs to anyone. So first of all, I'm working on that.
Yes, you are.
If it's friends or family, I'm very blunt because if you've asked me questions several times over a course of a long period of time and you've one yet to follow anything I've said, I'm not giving you any more advice because
Hmm.
it's my time, it's my knowledge, it take and I do spend time because I have to ask you questions. I got to know what your health history, I have to dive into it more than just being like, "Oh, take this." So if I'm giving you that time and you're still, to me, it's disrespectful to ask me and for me to give it to you and then you do nothing with it and then come back to me and ask me again. I
Hmm.
feel like that's disrespecting my time.
Hmm.
And I don't like do that very well. So I've been way more like when I have boundaries. Some of my family who've asked me for help, I'm like I ask them straight up like, are you going to listen to me or are we just going to go around in circles? And they're like, oh, I'll listen to you this time. I'll listen to you this time. And I'm like, because if you don't, the next time you're going to have to pay for this.
Yeah, I love the honesty. I need to do that more. What about in skincare, Miss Beauty, our beauty expert? Did you
Um,
find people coming to you for, or even like, hey, I want your product, but can I get it at a discount? Like anything like that?
oh yeah, of course. I mean, always gonna be those people. Can you help me is there any way, can you give me a
80% off.
yeah, friends and family discount or yeah, 80% off or oh, can you, they'll be like, "Oh, can I just sell you part of this?" And then you do that,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
just no, no ma'am.
Right.
So, yeah, but you know, I I don't think I have as much experience in that kind of department as the two of you guys have with people like probing and, so that's interesting to hear your guys' perspective though. So I mean, I feel like if I was in your shoes, I would totally relate to that for sure. But wrapping up, I just have one last question. We kind of already touched on this, but I just kind of want to summarize it. I want you guys to tell me one thing you love and one thing you hate about social media. And I can go first. The one thing I love is kind of two things. It's the connection that we already, talked about, being able to feel more connected to you ladies, other people in the world that I don't know, family. I think that's, such a beautiful thing to be able to still feel involved with, family or strangers. And then also the convenience. I just love convenience. I love being able to Google things and find things out. Like, I love to be able to look at places to travel on social media, hotels, different foods, places to try,
Yes.
products to buy. Like it's just so convenient. I love the convenience. And then the hate for me would be definitely the like emotional aspect that if I'm like down in the dumps, I feel like, it can make you worse, can make you
Mm,
down in the negative things floating around, people with their rude, judgmental comments.
mm.
I think it really does wear on your mental health, though. So that's probably the thing I dislike the most.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something like some kind of stat I heard where kids right now, teenagers, and maybe Britt, I don't know if, your daughter is on her phone a lot, but they're saying teenagers right now, like the number one thing making them really have a hard time in life is their phone. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm like, well,
I believe that.
there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff going on. But I'd say, the one thing I really like love is, and actually I thought of this as you were talking because I do love being able to be like, hey, there's a restaurant I want to try. What's the vibe? And then I go straight to Instagram and that will tell me the whole story. How's the food look? The ambiance? How do I need to dress? I love seeing where people kind of get their photos. I'm like, oof, even when I'm like traveling or hiking, I want a picture there.
Mhm.
Love it for that. It shows us so much of the world. And then it takes us to places that I've never been or never even thought about going that I'm like, oh my God, now I have to go there.
Or never even heard of until you see it on social media.
Yeah, pretty crazy. One thing I hate, I'd say, I don't like when I see or I feel or even hear experiences where people are getting taken advantage of in terms of, well, maybe it's just all of them. The scammers, they're always trying to like get you to push a link or get you to buy something and then they ghost you, or they're just totally lying. They're saying they're an expert about one thing and they know jack shit, and then you just wasted 2 grand. So
Ugh.
any type of scammer, or I feel like you're trying to hack into my shit, I
Mhm.
hate social media. I don't push no links. Don't send me any links. I will not push it. I'll be like, I'll ask you a question before I push the link. Or I'll text you, what'd you just send me? I'm not getting hacked. I hate social media for that.
I love, yeah, again, the connection, that community, that's a really huge one. That's probably the key thing. I think also a little bit of like inspiration comes in that space too, of course. Because aside from connecting with women just like in the DMs or whatever, you kind of get to feel like you're not alone in some things because you see that in other people and their struggles or, their learning experiences. And so that's really nice too. But the thing that I hate, yeah, I would say have to say it has to do with mental health, like the negativity on there. It really just blows my mind the way people talk to each other
Mm,
and and the fact that it can be again be used as such an educational space that yet you're still not using your brain very much, like that those people that are just being mean to other people for no reason, those are the ones I'm talking about.
mhm.
It's like I can't deal with it in very large amounts.
Yeah, and I know people like to read comments just for fun and just to like see the conversation.
Start fight.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I'll do it, but most times I don't know, I guess I don't know if I just block it out subconsciously or I just have no tolerance for it now. So with the negativity, I'm just like, keep it off my feed. Yeah, yeah. But
Amen to that.
The
Well,
comments I'll read are the comments that are like the
that's
funny ones, or if someone like posts something and then they're like, "Oh, was that a cheese grate?" Or like it's just like the funny like puns off of it. I'll read those comments all day.
everybody has something to say. That's what I've learned about social media.
so true. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. This was such a fun little topic and hopefully really relatable to our listeners. So thank you for tuning in and tell us what's about your love-hate relationship with social media. What are some things that you love or what are some things that you do not like? We'd love to hear. Don't forget to rate us and comment, share, and
Yes.
show the love.
And you can chat with us anytime, listeners. We're at Three Way Call Pod on Instagram. You can,
Slide into the DMs.
chat with us.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next time.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.